All right, guys, you're traveling to Costa Rica, taking a vacation in Costa Rica, but maybe you've never been in Costa Rica before. Maybe you're not familiar with the currency, called the colón, by the way. Well, then this video is for you. I'm going to be discussing all that, the currency, exchanging, ATMs, banking, all that. If you haven't been here, this video can save you some serious frustration, so you're going to want to watch it. And all that in just a minute. And oh my gosh, what is this? Woohoo! All right, guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Fill out the 4-minute form, and you'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime like you. You. Having best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I know some of you guys are, you come to Costa Rica, you're never going to see Costa Rica again. Help a brother out, hit the subscribe button. But if you want to see our videos as we put them up, hit the notification bell. And we do a lot of videos, different videos, travel tips, living here videos. We interview a lot of people. So if you want to see those, hit the notification bell. All right, let's get started. So you haven't left yet, and you got to decide, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So some people just bring a bunch of cash, and you bring as much as you're comfortable with. They come here, they exchange it. Now, you want to exchange it at the bank. That's going to give you the best rate, but you can exchange it at the airport. You're not going to get a good rate there, but some of you are like, I don't care, Michael. It's convenient. I don't got time for all that. I get it. Do the airport if you want, but the better exchange rate is going to be at the bank. Now, the bank is going to exchange your dollars, which is mostly what I'm going to be talking about, and they exchange euros. Now, you Canadians, I actually don't know. It used to be that you had to bring dollars. They didn't exchange at the bank your Canadian money. Now, I don't know. Maybe they do that now. So please, if somebody's just traveled to Costa Rica from Canada and you've gone through this and you brought your Canadian money and they exchanged it, please tell us where, tell us how. I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of other people would too. So, okay, so obviously the other thing you can do is, hey, I'm not going to bring a bunch of cash. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm going to ATM my money out as I travel. I like that idea. That can work. Now, you know your bank better than I do. You know your cards better than I do. Is it going to be a bunch of fees? Do you get free ATM? You've got international fees. You got to figure all that out. Talk to your bank, see what that is, and decide if that, using a card's right for you. All right. So I like that whole idea of ATMing it out. Just one small tip, may not make sense now, but when you're here, it will. If you're traveling around and visiting a lot of places, always go to the ATM to wherever you are. Don't wait to the future destination, the one you're going at tomorrow, to wait and find an ATM there. Always do it where you are at the time. It will make sense later. Try if you can. If you have a backup card, bring it. You never know what can happen. You might be on a tour and lose one of your cards. You want to have another one, either backup from another bank or just a backup from your original bank. And of course, get in contact with your bank, let them know you're going to be traveling in Central America or Costa Rica and the dates. You don't want to mess with that. That's a pain in the ass, calling people and going through all that. So tell them prior to traveling. Now, I don't recommend this next thing, but people do it. Some people that have prepaid their large ticket items, like all their hotels and all their adventure tours, sometimes they just bring down the cash and they, small ticket items like souvenirs, and maybe they go out to lunch, whatever they do, they pay in dollars, and they just pay in dollars. And as you pay in dollars, you normally get colones back as change, and you collect that change or those bills, and you can use those bills, maybe at the next place you go to or whatever. So some people do that because they just, they don't really care. I don't recommend that, really. What you want to do in Costa Rica is use colones when you can. Use colones. Why is that? Because if you don't, you are not going to get a favorable exchange rate anywhere. Not at restaurants, not at bars, nowhere. Gas stations especially. You're filling up your tank. Give them dollars. You gave them a lot of, it's almost like stealing it so bad. I made a video about this. So when you can, you please use colones. All right, colones, and especially at gas stations if you're not using a card or whatever. The other thing, they do not like these. They do not like these, and they do not like these. A lot of places consider those counterfeit. They don't even try to check them. They're counterfeit. They don't accept them. Now, this is Costa Rica. Does everybody not accept those bills? No. A lot of nice hotels will accept them. A lot of nice restaurants will accept them. Sometimes not so nice restaurants. Sometimes not so nice hotels. But for the most part, leave your hundreds and your 50s at home. If you're going to bring bills down here. Now, obviously, you can exchange these at the bank for your colones. You could do that if that's what you're going to do right out the gate. But for the most part, 20s and below, okay? So, again, they don't like those. The other thing, big time problem, can you see this? Can you see this, Rip? If this has a mark on it, if it's messed up in any way, they will not accept these. If I try to take this right now to the little store on the corner, they would not take this bill. All right? If it had a marker, like marked out his eyes or something, they wouldn't accept this bill. They'll accept their nasty bills if they're nasty, but not these. Now, the problem with this is I go to the ATM a lot. For every $1,000 I take out, I get about 5 to 6 bad bills. Now, they don't accept them. Try to take this into the bank just randomly. They won't even exchange it for you. So, but for me, what I have to do is I get the receipt and then I immediately go to inside the bank and they do exchange them for me. But you do not, any bad bills, don't bring them. And if you get them out of the ATM here, as soon as you get them, get the receipt from the ATM and go in and get them, get a better one. So, and that brings me kind of to ATMs in general. You want to go to ATMs that are connected to the bank. There's a lot of standalone ATMs here. Like, for instance, if I went to there's an ATM here in town. It's connected to, it's not part of a gas station, but it's kind of connected to the gas station. It's just like a little closet ATM. If I were to get this bill, even with the receipt, I wouldn't be able to exchange it at the bank. It's weird. I know it doesn't make any sense, but just be aware. So, your card getting stuck, which, got to be honest, never really happened to me, and I probably use the ATM more than probably anybody down here. Never really gotten stuck. It has taken a while for it to come out before. I've had to wait minutes, where you're like, oh my God, is this ever going to come out? Yeah, it did. But it's just nice if you're connected to the bank and you have a problem, you can go into the bank and talk to them about it, which is good. All right, what's next? You get a lot of this. A lot of useless change. Pocketfuls. And anybody that's traveled down here will go, yeah, Michael's right. You get pockets full of crap change. Some of those things aren't even like a half of a cent. So what I would do is, put those in tip jars as you travel along. Maybe give them to the maids. Obviously, you can give them more than just a bunch of, nasty coins. But just get rid of your coins along the way. They'll be happy, and you won't have to be bogged down with all of them because you get a lot of them. We're going to get into this in a minute. I'm going to discuss the currency, but also when you're paying, if you don't understand your bill, you're like, I can't do the exchange. I can't do the, because if you're like me, or you've been let's just say you've been traveling from country to country, the currencies are all running into each other. The denominations are getting confusing. Do I divide? Do I multiply? It can get extremely, extremely confusing. So if you're in Costa Rica and don't understand the bill, take your time, figure it out, pull out your calculator, ask them questions. Don't worry about it. Don't try to act like you know what's going on, or just hand them money and hope for the best. Kind of know what you're getting into, and I'm going to tell you an easy way to do that in a minute. The other thing is, a lot of people look at this money as like monopoly money, and you don't want to do that either. It does have value, okay? So kind of treat it accordingly. I want to give you a quick example before we get into kind of how to keep this all straight. I was working at a coffee shop a long time ago, and a guy came in and he bought a $9.95 bag of coffee. He gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 of these. This is 10,000 colones. At the time, this was $200. He thought this was $1. All right, so it can be confusing. And do I multiply or do I divide? Am I converting to dollars or am I converting to coins? It does. It can get confusing and you can get messed up. Yours truly has done it a few times, so it can definitely happen. So take your time. You got to get out your calculator. If you got to look at your receipt and ask them, hey, what the heck? Do that. So obviously exchange rates change. Last year, the colony was very weak against the dollar, very weak. Well, if you follow politics, you can see where the dollar's going, and it's not really going very good, and I expect it's going to go down even further. When we first got here 17 years ago, it was almost exactly this. Can you see this? This is a 500 colony coin. This one's 100. These are the only two you would really keep in your pocket. This is almost $1, and back 16 years ago, it was $1, and this was 20 cents. All right. So think of 500 colones equals $1. All right. 1,000 colones, $2. 2,000 colones, $4. This is not perfect. This is just an estimation so you can get some sort of semblance or familiarity to what it is. So 5,000 colones, $10. Now, if you notice the pattern of this, if you just times the colony by 2, 5 times 2, 10. Or 2 times 5, 10. 2 times 2, 4. 1 times 2, 2. 10,000, $20. 20,000, $40. You get that? You see that pattern? Now, this is not exact, and it's going to change, but if I may be wrong, but I think it's going to get closer to being right. Right now, it's about 560 to $1. Okay? 560 used to equal $1. But I think that's going to go down, so it'll get closer to this. So this will just give you some sort of like, okay, if I have $4, half that, it's about 2,000 colones. So it's just all halves, right? So it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. But again, it can still get confusing. All right, so that's it, man. That is it. I hope that kind of helps. At least you'll be a little bit familiar, with the money when you get here, and you'll be able to spend it like a rock star. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicanNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Things are going to pop up, and if you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, you should always do your homework and research. And I'm going to put our videos up against anybody. All right, later.